Hello everybody, how are we all doing? I am talking today about a particular theme that I struggled with and many people struggle with, often in silence because of the taboo nature of the theme. And it's POCD. And I'm talking about the hopeless trap that people can often find themselves in with POCD. Now, because of the very taboo nature of the theme, people are quite reluctant to reach out for help, which often keeps many people stuck. Because if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, right, yes, I'm suffering with POCD, false memory real event, because what it does, it scours the past, it finds things and it makes it feel as real as it can possibly get. And when you're that terrified of a theme like this and all the fears associated with POCD, it's very common for one to sit in silence and avoid ever reaching out. And that's a real shame because you're not alone and there is hope. Regardless of how taboo the theme is, regardless of how real the theme feels, you can get help. You don't just have to suffer in silence forever. And POCD absolutely terrified me because of the realness factor jacked up and how scary that felt. And I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the exception. It felt like I was the only one experiencing such intrusive thoughts. I'm here to show you that you are not alone and there is hope and you really can get better. We are doing a POCD workshop, which I'm hosting. That's starting on the 25th of February. That's a 4-week workshop, so one workshop a week. If you can email Phil if you're interested, so that's phil@ocdrecovery.com, and his WhatsApp number is in the description of this video, and you can sign up for that POCD workshop. We're going to be talking about all the nuances of the theme and how complex it can feel and how real it can feel and how it operates and ultimately how to get better from that. Okay, so that workshop is to not be missed. Now, what are the fears involved with POCD? Now, there are many fears, but in particular, there are lots of fears around rejection, being abandoned, written off forever, being deemed as a societal outcast, going to prison, living with the guilt forever. That was a huge one. Oh my God, if this thought was true, if this thing was true in the past, how on earth could I live with myself? My life is written off. And that was one that kept me stuck for so long. Even when I was making progress with unconditional acceptance and breaking down those fears, I kept coming to a standstill. I kept coming to a shuddering halt with, oh God, but what if I'm feeling guilty forever? How could I live with myself if that thought was true or whatever? So we'll break that down in great depth on that workshop because that is a very common fear to be stuck with. If only they knew that impacted every social interaction when I was stuck with POCD, real event / false memory. Every interaction, everyone that I spoke to, if only you knew, if only you knew, if only you knew. You wouldn't be speaking to me right now if you knew this intrusive thought that I experienced, this intrusive memory, this intrusive urge, image, name, whatever it was, whatever was stuck in my mind. It compromised every social setting that I was in because I felt like, oh, but if only you knew, you wouldn't be speaking to me. You know, I felt very undeserving. I felt almost like an imposter. Because of like, oh my God, if you knew this, you would not be saying this, you would not be complimenting me, you wouldn't be engaging in conversation. That is how real it feels. Don't underestimate how OCD makes it feel so real. It jacks up that realness factor to a point where, you know, you can't tell the difference. That is how real that's going to feel. So this is why I'm emphasizing how you're not alone. And if you're experiencing a theme like this, it's very common to feel hopeless, deflated, completely dejected, and you feel like that's it. You feel like your life's written off, and that is how scary it feels, okay? I felt like I couldn't fully enjoy myself. I felt like I couldn't really be present. It felt like, what was the point? Nothing matters. Life's over, meaningless. I'm undeserving because of that if only they knew angle. So we'll cover that in really great detail because that's a very common component of POCD that keeps many people stuck. Now, POCD isn't just a thought, right? You don't just have a POCD thought, right? It can operate via intrusive thoughts, but it's often feelings, so intrusive feelings, intrusive urges, intrusive dreams, groinal responses that can make it feel incredibly real, all kinds of intrusions POCD is going to manifest. And that's what's important to remember, that, and that's how it hooks in with the realness once again. If you're just saying, oh, it's just a thought, thoughts are thoughts, blah, 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 and then you have an intrusive dream or you have an intrusive image, it's then going to feel incredibly real. And you're like, wait, but this one's different, this one's the exception, what if this one's real, and so on, right? So it operates in many different ways. It's not just as straightforward as one thought that you're going to have and that's how it works. No, it doesn't work like that. OCD is very sneaky in how it works, and it can maneuver around certain situations where it will morph to keep you trapped. And if you get some form of reassurance or some form of certainty that it was just a thought, it will find a way to hook in and nestle just at a reach where it feels like, yeah, but Sam, this one is different. Yeah, but what about this one? Yeah, but this one's the exception because of blah, blah, blah. So very, very common with POCD. It's often going to link into past events and memories. It's very good at making the link between the two, keeping you trapped. Any taboo theme, POCD is going to do that. It's going to scour your ages of sexual development. It's going to scour, your past. It's going to look for all of those things, right? And then it's going to hook in, feeling you totally locked in, feeling like you're imprisoned in your own mind. And if I only just got peace on this, if I only just got certainty on this, then I can be at peace. Then I could feel free and feel like I can live my life. And that's how it works, right? For example, I know many people that experience intrusive thoughts of POCD, and in the next call, they're talking about how OCD is morphed and it's jumped to an event in the past. And it's like, yeah, but Sam, this one's different because what as if this happened? What as if it's not just a thought and this actually happened? Oh my God, it's found evidence. OCD is going to do that. It's very good at convincing you that this one is real and this one is different, and it's going to look for the past to find that evidence. That's what it does. Okay, you're not alone. POCD is going to affect moments of intimacy. That's very, very common. It's going to go after those moments you really want to enjoy. Any pleasurable moment is looking to hijack. You'll have thoughts during those moments that will feel as real as it can get. Anything that you want to feel present or pleasure or any sort of good positive feeling, OCD is going to hijack in general, but POCD particularly because of the taboo-ness of it and how real it's going to feel. And I remember experiencing such thoughts and just completely freezing and just thinking, oh my God, like I just completely froze and just felt like I just couldn't continue whatever it was I was doing because the thought was so scary and just took my attention away. So expect to come into those moments, right? It's because you at least want it in those moments. So that's exactly what OCD is going to target. It's seeking it out like a heat-seeking missile, is what we often say, and it's waving a red rag to a ball. If you're saying, oh no, but I can't have such intrusive thoughts at this time, that's exactly what OCD is going after, I'm afraid. So on these workshops, you're going to gain your insight, you're going to improve your knowledge on OCD and just the inner workings of it, the ins and outs of this disorder. It's very complex. OCD is very misunderstood. I mean, you've got a thing like POCD is very misunderstood just because of the taboo-ness and just there's just so many ways that it operates and hooks in there, leaving you completely locked and trapped in your mind, very internalized, how I was, just completely locked in my mind with that 1,000-yard stare, constantly ruminating, constantly solving, constantly trying to get to the bottom of things in my head, constantly trying to neutralize, get rid, so much avoidance and so on. Okay, so you're really, really not alone. POCD is going to look to compromise any moment where you are desperate to feel present. That's not just POCD. OCD is going to do that in general, but POCD especially. Like I said, any moment that you wish to enjoy, any when you want to be focused and connected and feel that present moment, POCD is going to get involved and hijack that. Important to remember. There'll be endless avoidance compulsions. So ranging from avoiding your own children, if you have children whilst watching this video, movies with children in, never leaving your house because you're scared of being triggered, even a picture on the wall, a family photo on the wall can trigger you. Like there's so many different ranges of avoidance. You can avoid everything. I know people that with POCD that have been housebound, hadn't left their house in years, hadn't had a job, just because it completely boxed them in. And the trouble is with avoidance is that it never ends, because if you avoid anything in public and avoid leaving your house and avoiding anything watching on telly, you can't, because it's in your head. So you're going to have intrusive thoughts, you're going to have intrusive images, you're going to have names getting stuck, you're going to have all kinds of intrusions coming in. So you can't ever actually avoid it. This is why you have to go towards these fears. Because avoidance is never going to lead to recovery. All avoidance does is fuel that OCD cycle. Endless solving, if it is real. Did I want this? Did I like this? Do I want that thought? Why did I have that thought? Why did that come in then? Going over things, replaying, going, oh, did I do this? Did I think that? What was the intention? What was the feeling? Oh, that was absolutely exhausting, because it was never ending. And as soon as I felt like I got some certainty, OCD would move along and tow me along to a point where I'd just reach out and grab that certainty, and then it would move again. I think, fuck, I could never quite get there. It's like playing whack-a-mole. I felt like I've got under one fear, felt like I'd finally figured something else out, and then boom, another event, another image, another thought, whatever it was, would rear its ugly head and keep me stuck once again. You can have an endless urge to confess thoughts to get relief. Now that can be an interesting one, because that can go either way. Confession can often be you just confessing to people that you love, friends, partners, whatever, just to try and get that relief. Or it can be completely opposite approach, where you completely lock up, you bottle it up, you're silent, you're completely silent, and you're scared to even look at anybody in the eye and not even tell your OCD coach or therapist that you're getting help from about your thoughts. And that can often be problematic as well, because it's like going to the doctors and not talking about your symptoms. If you're stuck with POCD and you're watching this video and you're thinking, I need some help, you can't be afraid to reach out, okay? Confession is never the answer. You can't confess your way to recovery, because OCD keeps moving the goalposts. It keeps finding the next thing and the next thing, but completely never even mentioning it to a point you're not even reaching out for help. That isn't the solution either, okay? So we'll talk about getting the, cutting out confession and just sort of getting the balance there. We'll talk about that in that workshop. Now, POCD will make every day feel like you're living on the edge of any alarming situation, and which puts the rest of your life into jeopardy. So you got to get very comfortable with this wrong feeling. Everything's going to feel wrong with OCD in general, but especially POCD, because it feels like you're walking a tightrope. It's like, oh my God, what if I cross the line? What if I go past this point of no return and my life's never the same again? That's how it's going to feel. When you allow a thought to be there, when you do an exposure, when you're around your fear, when you're cutting out a compulsion, it's going to feel like you're crossing a line and there's no coming back. Okay, it's going to feel like you're living on that edge, because when you look at a lot of OCD fears, it's that life being compromised, your life being put into jeopardy, never being the same again, and POCD thrives off those fears. So that's why it's important to break those fears down and get comfortable with that wrong feeling and changing the relationship with the fear. Lots of terrible person fears, bad person, awful person, evil person, terrible person. The good person and bad person concept, that you're going to have to address that, because OCD and POCD especially is going to firmly latch to that. If you're clinging on to bad person, terrible person, terrible person, terrible person, then POCD is going to make absolute mincemeat of you. It's going to run rings around you, and it's going to have an absolute field day. So you're going to have to address that via unconditional acceptance. That's going to be key. I must highlight the importance of acceptance not being agreement. You're not trying to justify, excuse, support, allow any wrong behavior. Of course not, right? But there's a big difference between unconditionally accepting. As you break that down, the myth of self-esteem really breaks this down in excellent detail, and that's the third book on our reading list that talks about it in great depth. But it's certainly not agreement or justification, just to highlight that. Compassion saves lives. It really, really does. Without compassion for others and yourself, you're going to find yourself in a spot of bother, especially when you're experiencing POCD. Compassion, yet again, isn't agreement. Compassion isn't just letting people off the hook and not caring. No, of course not. You can have very strong views, of course, but as soon as you lack compassion, then OCD is going to get in there, because you're going to have some form of self-compassion in order to break your beliefs down and get over POCD. Taking a risk is going to be required. Taking a risk with exposures, cutting compulsions, disputing beliefs, it's all going to feel risky. It's all going to feel like you're crossing the line and there's no coming back. We've got to get used to going towards that. And that's just how real it's going to feel, right? Is either you take the risk, and with a coach, you take it one step at a time, or you just choose to avoid and do compulsions all day long. You're not going to get anywhere doing the latter. There's something to really think about, okay? And finally, you can't recover if you're unable to make peace with your worst case scenario. OCD is not going to budge on a theme like this. When you've got POCD, false memory OCD, real event OCD, any taboo theme, it's not going to go anywhere if you can't go towards any form of acceptance. Yeah, again, acceptance isn't agreement. Making peace with a worst case scenario isn't liking a worst case scenario, isn't wanting a worst case scenario. Of course not. But making peace with it, just seeing it through a different outlook, changing your perspective on it, changing your view on that, which obviously takes time, a lot of work, and we break that down in calls, and in the workshop we'll go into great depth in how to do that. But if you don't go towards any form of acceptance is an agreement, just to highlight once again, then you're not going to get anywhere with this particular theme, and it's going to lock on really hard, okay? So, 4-week POCD workshop starting 25th of February. Please email Phil, message Phil, bombard Phil, and you can get booked in. I know places are limited, and I know this is proving pretty popular already, so and there's places left, but you want to be quick, you don't want to be waiting around, because there's only limited slots that we can give out for the workshop. So yes, get in touch with Phil, email him, or drop him a WhatsApp message. Guys, hope to see you on the workshop. You take care, and I will speak again. Bye-bye.